What up? My name's Ben Shaw, and this is a video about how I'm going to turn this bike into a faster, much better looking and overall high quality bike. I really don't have much experience with building bikes, but I have done up a lot of BMXs in my time, and this is pretty much just going to be the same thing really. The first thing we're going to do though is check out how to design a bike with my handy Photoshop tutorial. One thing I like to do before I really start hacking into my bike is design what it's going to look like, and I do this with a lot of my projects. So I'm just going to open Photoshop and get a photo of my motorbike in one tab, and then open up another photo with a bike that's similar to an idea that I like or has a few elements that I want to incorporate into mine. And then we're just going to go through a few techniques to see how we can add elements to the other bike. So I'm just going to get my bike and the other bike in a different tab, and you can see my bike facing the different way. So I'm just going to flip that over, flip it horizontal on its axis, and so it's facing the correct way. And I'm just going to try to drag that on top of the other motorbike. I'll just have to select it here and drag it up into the other one. Always make sure you put the larger resolution picture on top of the smaller one, otherwise you're going to get blurred and pixelated image. When you're resizing the image, I just hold shift down and that resizes it in a perfect square, so it just locks it without free transforming it, and then drag it on top. And we're going to zoom in, and then we're going to position the bike on top of the other one, but I'm just going to reduce the opacity of the top photo so I can see where it is in relation to the bottom one, and just move that around till it looks like it's sort of on the right dynamic for the other bike, and then just drop it there where we can increase the opacity again when it looks like it's pretty well lined up, as close as it can be really. It's pretty rough. We're just getting a general idea of some elements you might like. And then the next step from there is to just erase the part of your bike where you want to see the other bike through. I'll just have to transform that, and then grab the eraser and just rub it out, and the picture behind will come up, and you'll be able to rub out the parts of your bike that you want to change and edit to something different. We'll also go through another technique just with the selection tool, the quick selection tool, which is pretty handy if you want to build from a lot of different bikes. So we'll get started on that. Again, I've just got Photoshop open here with my bike in window. We're basically just going to use the quick selection tool to select a part of the bike that you can drag and drop around on top of another one. See over on the left I've got the quick selection tool, and you just select the part that you want to select, and the dotted line shows you where you've selected already. If you hold the shift key, you can add more selection to that area. And if you hold the alt or option key, I'm on a Mac, you can deselect areas that you want to take out. And once you've deselected it all, it's a little bit tricky, so you can zoom in a little bit further if you want to really get detailed, but I just like to use it as a rough guide, and then just get the drag tool and you can drag whatever part of the bike is selected around and drop it onto something else. Easy. Phase 1 of the build is deconstruction. One thing I like to do is with all the wiring that I pull off, just put a bit of masking tape around it with a label so you know where it fits back on when you're doing the rebuild. Time to take out the wiring loom. Stoked. The wiring loom's out. Next we're going to take out the radiator at the front, get some access to the exhaust manifold system, and then so we can get the engine out and then start working on the frame. Can see what kind of shape the exhaust is in. It's pretty old and rusty. Had a muffler welded on. So we'll clean that up, see if we can get the rust off it and get some new mufflers for it. So I've just found out that the chain doesn't have a master link in it. Which means you can't crack off the chain and take it off easily to get the motor out. So it means I basically have to split the chain and break a link and put in a new link or get a new chain, or take this swing arm off and a sprocket probably, so the whole back wheel will come off and then the chain will come off and then we can get the motor out. Got the engine out of the frame. Sitting on that little stand, sitting on my back tyre and the frame, the front forks on it. As you can see, I've got a pretty highly developed cataloguing system for the parts of the bike. I mean, some parts are in that area there. That's where I usually keep the engine. And then there's a heap more parts over here on this bench. So it all works well together, really. I mean, I know where everything is. I know where everything is. With everything out, it's time to start painting.